Hi guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Maya and today we're doing something a little bit different. I got the idea to film this video a few days ago and I was like, you know what? That would have really helped me a few years ago, so why not? As many of you know, I used to work at Sephora a couple of years ago and now I am working at MAC, and I thought it would be a really educational video to compare the two and just tell you about my experience working for both companies. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm not here to bash any company. I'm not going to do that. I loved working for both Sephora and MAC, so I'm not going to do that. It's just irrelevant. I'm just going to be stating facts. Obviously, I'm not going to discuss anything that's confidential, like how much I'm getting paid or anything like that, but we will be comparing it on other dimensions, I guess, or categories, and see which one might be better for you, because even though both companies were great to work for, they are quite different, and so I think they will suit different people. So I do have a little notebook here that I wrote everything down in, just in case I forget something, so don't mind me if I keep looking down. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is just a little bit of background about me. So I was a casual at both Sephora and I am a casual now at MAC as well. I got hired at Sephora as a Christmas casual at first, and then I got kept on, and this was in 2018, I think. I think it was 2018. And then at MAC, I just started recently, so I got the job in July. My roles at both companies were very different. So at Sephora, I was a beauty advisor, whereas at MAC, I'm an actual artist. So keep that in mind as well when I'm comparing the two. So I guess the first thing I'm going to talk about is the actual interview process or getting hired. So when I went for my interview at Sephora, because it was a Christmas casual position, it was a group interview and it went for 3 hours, I remember. And basically what we had to do was, at first we listened to, I think, the regional manager or someone talk about the company. They showed us a video, and then we got into groups and we had to do some activities. So the activities were things like just taking something out of your bag and then pretending to sell it. And honestly, that's all I remember, because that stood out for me, because I'm pretty sure the only thing in my bag was a MAC lipstick. That's the funniest thing. And I was really worried that I'm not going to get the job because it wasn't a Sephora brand that I was selling, but it's all good. So after you do the little activities, and I think you also talk a little bit about yourself. So afterwards you had some time to go and talk to the manager of the store you're applying for and just do a quick 5 to 10 minute interview with them, just a one-on-one interview. And the questions were pretty alright, like your standard retail questions. Tell me about a time when this happened, tell me about a time when that happened. Some questions were also really interesting. I remember they asked me who my favorite beauty influencer is, and I told them it's Jeffree Star. I still remember that. And they also ask you why. They ask you what your favorite makeup product is, things like that. So just quite casual, nothing too nerve-wracking. I actually had a lot of fun at the group interview, to be honest. Probably my favorite group interview that I've ever done. I usually hate group interviews, but that was a really enjoyable experience. So after you do the group interview, you wait to hear back from them. And I remember the process was quite quick. So afterwards, the store manager contacted me and asked me to come in for a trial. So you do the trial with other successful applicants from the group interview, and you basically come into store for an hour with everyone else, and you just act like you work there. So you serve customers, you do whatever you would do as if you were a Sephora employee for 1 hour, and the manager just kind of observes everyone. You're also paired up with someone who actually works there, just in case you have any questions or you're unsure of something. You can go and ask them to help you, because obviously they don't expect you to know all the products or actually, you know, be an expert. It's just kind of to see how you are, I guess, adapting to a stressful situation potentially, but also just to see how you are with customers, because customer service, it would be the same anywhere you work. So I think that's the main thing that they really cared about. From my personal experience, getting a job at Sephora is not so much about your skills as a makeup artist as it is your skills in selling and in retail. They cared a lot more about that, which is fair enough. At Sephora, there's actually different jobs within the company, so not everyone is a makeup artist. I was not qualified, and to be honest with you, I had just zero makeup experience before Sephora. I don't know how I got the job, but I remember it's because I had the 5-year retail experience that they hired me. They really cared about that, and that was beneficial to them. So at Sephora, I was a beauty advisor. So my job was basically to just help customers, customer service. I did a few makeup applications, but it wasn't like a full appointment. It was just like, you know, color match for foundations and like quick express services. So if someone wanted to get just their eyes done or just their skin done, I would do that. But it wasn't like you're an actual makeup artist taking appointments or anything like that. At Sephora, there are people that are makeup artists, and their job is similar to the beauty advisor, except they actually take appointments as well, and they do makeup applications. But to become a makeup artist, or they call it beauty studio artist at Sephora, it's a different interview process, so I won't be going into that because I don't know, I haven't done it. But that's basically it. After the trial, they do reference checks, and if the reference checks were all good, then you're successful and you get a call and you get hired for the job. At MAC, the interview process was quite different. So at first I applied online, and then I had to do a video interview with the company. So it was basically like this program where you log in and it records you, and then questions come up and you have a few seconds to think about the answer, and then it starts recording you, and you only have one take to film your answer and just submit that. So again, questions were very standard retail questions, most of them. I remember there was one question that was something like, how would you create a smoky eye? And so you would have to go through the steps and describe how you would create a smoky eye. But yeah, just things like that. I think there were only 5 questions, so it wasn't too bad. It was just kind of awkward, you know, to do a video interview, but it wasn't too bad. So after you do the video interview, you get contacted, I think, by the regional manager or the store manager. I don't quite remember, but I got an email asking me to come in for an in-person interview. So the in-person interview was also not too bad, nothing stressful. It was actually quite relaxed and very casual. Everyone was really, really friendly. They made me feel really comfortable as well, and it was very, again, retail questions. My interview consisted of a lot of retail questions and customer service questions. So after that, you wait back to hear from them again, and if you're successful, you're asked to come back in and do a trial. So you bring a model in and your brushes, and basically someone assesses you and assesses your makeup skills. So you basically just have to pretend that you work at MAC and pretend that you're doing an appointment. They'll tell you exactly what to do. Like, they'll either describe a look or give you a picture, and you just have to do it and just pretend you actually work there, and someone observes you and sees how you do. So after that, again, it's just reference checks, and then if everything is all good, then you are successful, and that's how you get hired at MAC. So I think I already went through the job at Sephora. So I was a beauty advisor, like I said, and I think I went through it. So it's basically just customer service, helping people when, you know, they ask for advice about makeup, skincare, hair care. You just go through that with them. Sometimes you do applications. At MAC, it's a lot of the same thing. So again, just helping customers. They might come in and ask, can you help me find a nice lipstick color for this dress or something like that, and then you just help with that. So again, it's selling, but also you actually take appointments. But again, that's because I have different roles in both companies. So in MAC, I'm an actual artist. I'm not sure if you can be anything other than an artist at MAC. I don't think you can. So yeah, so at MAC, it's basically you actually take makeup appointments, and you also help people with any makeup needs they have. So I'll go through training as well. Training at Sephora was quite It was quite interesting because a lot of it revolved around brands. So people that are representing a certain brand would come in and give you training on the specific brand. So for example, people from Fenty will come in and give you some, you know, training about new Fenty products, for example. And yeah, basically that's how it was with every brand. So you learn a lot about products. There was also training for new people, which I never went to, and I don't really remember what it's called, but it's over a few days and they basically just run you through everything Sephora and brands and everything. And the good thing about it is that you end up getting a lot of gratis. And for those of you who don't know, gratis is free makeup. So you get a lot of that. So that just kind of gets you started in the company. I never ended up going to that because there was a lot of people waiting to go all the time, and I just never really had a chance to go, but I've heard that it's quite good. In terms of skill, other than that training, which is, you know, when you start the job there, which honestly I just don't remember what it's called, but anyway, that kind of training that goes over a few days, there's not a lot that you do where you practice application. Like there's not a lot that you do that where you actually practice your skills or get feedback about your skills as much. But again, I think that's because I was a beauty advisor and not actually a makeup artist there. Also, I just remembered at Sephora there was also kind of like update trainings, I guess. So I think it was every quarter or something there was training, and you went in and again learned about some new products and got to play with the new products, which was quite fun as well. Training at MAC is very different to what it was like at Sephora. At MAC, it's very much focused on your artistry and your skill. There is some product training as well, but in my experience, there's a lot more of the artistry training. So from the get-go, the managers would always be around me and training me and giving me feedback on my makeup application skills and giving me tips and tricks on how to improve my skills, which was amazing. There were some tricks I learned at MAC that I've never even thought about, I have never heard of before, that have helped me a ton. So that's really awesome. And then also, of course, there is update training, which you go to, and again, it's, you know, I think it's every quarter, and you just learn about new product launches and things like that, which is quite fun as well. Actually, I don't think it's every quarter. I just think it's every time there's like products launching, but I'm not quite sure. Don't quote me on that. Also at MAC, there is this thing called basic training, which is, I guess, basically the same thing as the Sephora training, where you do it when you're new, and it's kind of like an introduction to MAC and everything. So I haven't done that yet, but I will be going in February, so that should be really fun. So I'll talk a little bit about benefits that you get working at Sephora and MAC. Very similar. You get free products, you get allowances to get products. Again, I'm not going to go into specifics because I do believe it's confidential, but yeah, it's very similar. It's basically just getting products a lot of the time. At Sephora, they always run competitions as well, you know, within team members where there's incentives and you can win things, which is quite fun. But yeah, I guess that's all I'm going to say about that. It's very similar. Let's just end it there. Cool, so what else? Work-life balance. So at Sephora, I'm going to be very honest and say that I'm a student as well. So I study psychology, and at the moment I'm doing my honors. And at Sephora, I felt as though they were really not happy when I was taking time off for study. They kind of expected you to make Sephora the, you know, the main thing in your life, I guess. And it's not that they didn't grant me time off when I needed it or anything, but sometimes like you would just get the feeling that, you know, you're being judged. I did have a few comments being made to me as well, which was not very nice. And I have heard from a lot of my co-workers that they've experienced very similar things. Co-workers that are also studying, I should mention. So I guess they do expect you to dedicate a lot of your time to work, which is fair enough. It's their business, it's how they run things. But if you are a student, just keep that in mind. At MAC, I haven't had any issues with work-life balance so far. Like I said, I am doing my honors at the moment, and last year when I had to take a few days off for uni, I had no problems with that. You can always get shifts covered, shifts swapped. Yeah, people take time off for exams. It's really not an issue. I've never had an issue with anything. They're very understanding, and I guess a casual is actually treated like a casual, which I really, really like. So I'll talk a bit about the products you work with. So obviously at Sephora you will work with a lot more products, a lot more brands. So if you are wanting to learn more about different makeup brands, that's probably a better option for you. Whereas at MAC, you just work with MAC. But you know, MAC is pretty well known and it's very well used in the makeup industry, so you wouldn't be losing either way, but it just depends on your preference. So the only thing I'm going to say about pay is I don't think I can make a fair comparison because I was a beauty advisor at Sephora. I was not a qualified makeup artist, whereas at MAC I am now qualified. So I'll just say that I'm getting paid more at MAC, but I think that at Sephora, if I was qualified, it would be about the same. So I do know that if you are qualified, you get paid more at Sephora. Oh, one more thing I wanted to mention about pay, which I think I should mention, is at Sephora you don't get paid penalty rates, and that was something that kind of shocked me at the beginning, but you get used to it. But yeah, you get paid the same on Saturdays and Sundays as well. So I guess I'll just say which one I prefer personally. I don't even know if I should say that. I don't know if it's fair for me to say, but I think it's pretty obvious that I prefer MAC, but the reason being is because I really wanted to focus on my artistry, and I felt like MAC was doing a lot more to help me improve my skills. But Sephora was a really great way to kickstart my makeup career because, like I said, when I started at Sephora, I had absolutely no makeup experience, and I'm so thankful I had the job there because I learned a lot there, like a lot. And I worked with some incredibly talented people that taught me so many tricks and tips, and honestly I am so grateful to have worked at Sephora. But if I had to choose now, again, I don't know if it's really fair because I've never worked as an artist at Sephora, but based on my experience in both companies, I do prefer MAC just because of the focus on artistry. I should mention as well that the reason why I left Sephora was because I ended up getting an internship in the field that I'm studying, and I was also doing my degree and my makeup qualification, and I just couldn't balance everything, and so I had to leave Sephora because I just knew they wouldn't really be okay with me taking so many days off. So it wasn't because I had any issues or anything like that. I actually really enjoyed my job there. I really loved my coworkers. I loved my managers. I had no issues whatsoever. So I guess that's it. I think I've covered pretty much everything. If you guys have any questions, do leave them down below and I will do my best to answer them. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Leave me a comment. And follow me on Instagram as well. Everything will be down in the description below. I do offer freelance services as well. If you're in the makeup area and are looking to get your makeup done, I will leave the details of that below as well. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!